Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, thank you so much for watching. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. So my name's Sharon and my channel has had a recent name change. I used to be living on a part-time income UK because I do work part-time. But I've recently changed my channel name to the Retirement Edit. I feel this kind of sums up my journey, and I'm currently working part-time, but I'm also semi-retired. I basically work in my local community and I've got a really good work-life balance. So if you are new here, I would really love it if you would consider liking and subscribing to my channel. The kind of things that I feature are shopping trips to Marks and Spencer's, Lidl, Aldi, and occasionally Sainsburys and other shops. I also feature recipes and cook with me's, and I also feature my personal budget spending and what goes into my spending diary every week. And I also talk about charity shopping and thrift finds and bargains from Vinted. If this is the kind of thing that you think you might enjoy watching, then please do subscribe and feel free to watch any of my previous videos. So, welcome and hello to September. So it feels kind of autumnal. It's the beginning of September and yeah, it's definitely feeling fresher. We've got a lot of rain about here in the UK. And yeah, it does feel like summer is slowly on its way out. Temperature wise, it's quite mild, but there's just a lot of rain and a lot of wind. And yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. It is that time of year. But I also feel that September is a little bit of a reset month because, you know, you have all your fun and summer months, socialising with family and friends, going out, going on holiday, going on short breaks. And it is all lots of fun, lots of spending in, you know, quite a few cases. And September is kind of, well, for me, it's definitely a reset month. And like I've said in my previous vlog about my new name reset, it's kind of got me thinking about my journey moving forward. And for me, being semi-retired and working part-time, it's quite a journey in itself really, and I've created routines and I'm making new ones, and that kind of leads me into what I want to talk about firstly as well, is that part of my new routine is my rota has been slightly changed at work, which I feel is the better for me because it does help with me doing things when I'm not working. So basically Monday to Fridays now, I just work 2 days a week. 2 of the weeks out of 4 weeks, I used to work 3 days, but I've condensed my hours. So every week now, on a Monday to Friday, I just work 2 days a week, which I find for me moving forward is going to be so much better because it gives me an extra day where I can do things for my mum. If she needs an extra shopping trip out, I can be there. And also if I decide that I might want to go and visit my granddaughter, that extra day does help. I work every other Saturday and I work one Sunday a month. And I really do enjoy working Saturdays. It's not a problem for me. Because I work in the local community, it kind of just doesn't feel like a job in a way. So, yeah. So September has started and I'm into my new rota now of just working 2 days a week. So I had Wednesday off, which was really nice. And I took my mum shopping. She needed some things in Sainsburys and I needed some things in Sainsbury's, and there was also a B&M on the site where Sainsbury's is. So I said to her, do you fancy having a look in B&M? So basically we both got little bits that we needed. I bought my things, she bought her things, and then we made our way to Sainsbury's, and I needed just a couple of bits to top up my weekly shop, which I bought, and then my mum bought her things, and then I drove back to my mum's, unpacked her things, and then I came home. So before we go over to the Sainsbury and B&M shop, I thought I'd show you my Lidl shop first, which I got right at the beginning of the week. So the Lidl one is going to follow now, and then that will be followed on by my B&M and Sainsbury's shopping haul. See you in a little while. Hi everyone. So I've just returned from Lidl's and this is my midweek shop, and I went to my local Lidl, which is nearest my work, so I had to carry this back to the car. Maybe that's why I didn't get as much as what I may normally get, but to be fair, I wasn't really following a strict shopping list. The only thing I really wanted and they didn't have was a bottle of Lidl's own brand Vimto, which I was very sad about because that was the only thing I really did want. But yeah, I will try and get that in my local Aldi if they've got it next time. So what's on the list? So first thing is the Fairy Liquid, and that was £1.99 but been reduced to £1.79. And then I also got a can of baked beans, and these were 41p. Then I do fancy some homemade soup this week, so I bought a couple of leeks. I'm going to make potato leek and carrot soup, and these were £1.39. And then I got Little Tiger Bloomer loaf, and that was £1.15. Then I got some multi-pack crisps, some cheese and onion flavour ones, and these were 89p. And then the hand wash was 99p. Then I needed some of the toilet tissue, and these were actually 47p. And then I got some Long Life skim milk, which is 99p. This lasts me absolutely ages because I don't really drink milk that often. I just have it in tea or coffee. And maybe I may start having a little bit more. Now the weather's coming more autumnal, I might have some hot chocolate. And then next on the list, 2 jacket potatoes, and these were 77p, which I thought was really good because I'm pretty much sure when I got one at Marks and Spencer's on my last Marks and Spencer shop. I would think it's 96p. And then next on the list was some full fat herb soft cheese, and this was £1.09. And then I got some salami, and that was £1.09 as well. Then I got some beef mince, hoping to make a curry soon. That was £4.29. Then I've got my Maggi noodles, which I have for lunch, with a couple of boiled eggs. These were £1.39 for a pack of 4. And then I got some paracetamol for the store cupboard. They were 35p. I got one of these little aloe vera hand gels, antiseptic one for my handbag. That was 55p. And then last on the list was the bagel thins. So 6 for £1.19. So the grand total of my shop this week was £18.80p. Pretty happy with that. I've got a few meals there, particularly from the mince and the jacket potatoes. And then I'm going to just continue trying to draw down on my store cupboard and my freezer as well. So yeah, very happy with that little shop there. Hope you enjoyed. Also, the Sainsbury's that I went to, they have a B&M on that site. So I popped into B&M as well. So let's have a look and see what I got in Sainsbury's. So first on the list, as you can see, I've managed to track down a big massive bottle of Vimto. So it is the original Vimto, and that was £3. That should last me absolutely ages, so I'm very happy with that. I actually like it with hot water as well. So it's funny, I never used to like Vimto when I was a child, but since I had it on holiday, I really enjoy it. So yeah, got the big bottle, so I don't have to worry about going low on non-alcoholic drink. And then next on the list is 3 bananas, and they weighed in at 55p for the 3. And then next on the list is Bombay Mix, and there was a nectar price saving of 65p, so I got them for £1. And then also I needed sink unblocker. They didn't have any when I went into B&M that I really wanted. I didn't really want to pay a £5 in there on a brand that I've not heard of. But Sainsbury's have got the Mr. Muscle one. So that was £4.25, but then there was a nectar price saving of £1.25. So very happy with that. Don't mind paying £3 when it's a brand name. Then I needed some Disprin, or rather it is aspirin, which is dispersible, and that was 55p. And then I managed to get a yellow sticker deal. So I've got a Taste the Difference raspberry sponge roll, and that was £1.75 reduced to 99p. So total there of 6 items came to £9.09, and I saved in nectar price discount £1.90, so that's not too bad. Then my shop at B&M. So I had wanted to go in there to check about the sink unblocker, but again, like I said to you before, they didn't have the one that I wanted. But they did have a nice bigger bottle of Domestos, and that was £1.69. And then the size of this Dove is kind of about nearly not far off the size of the Domestos.
So that body wash is going to keep me going for a long time, and that's £3.75. Then I got a couple of dehumidifiers for the wardrobe, and a pack of 2 was £1.79. And then I got some white vinegar, which I find really handy for cleaning, and that was £1.15. And then last on the list was this storage box with lid, and it was only £3.50. Now I just want a little box that I can put my books in when I'm reading next to my chair, because at the moment they're all kind of in a pile over on the table or under the table, and then they're spilling over and it just looks really messy. So yeah, happy with £3.50. That will fit quite a few books in, and I'm sure I'll end up filling it with some other little bits as well. So for 5 items I spent £11.88. So I thought that was a pretty good shop in B&M, especially the sizes of the bottles as well. So very happy with that. So that was my shop in Sainsbury's and B&M. It is quite nice to go to B&M every now and then, and I haven't been to the main Sainsbury's for a long time. So yeah, I managed to get the bits that I needed and I wanted. Didn't really break the bank too much, and yeah, an addition to my little shop that I did earlier this week. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, so not very big shops from either B&M or Sainsbury's, but I managed to get that huge bottle of Vimto, which I'm really happy with. That's going to last me absolutely ages. And I'm really chuffed with my box that I got from B&M. I thought it was a bargain at £3.50. My books are in piles under my table, on top of the table, and it just looks so messy. And I thought, you know what, I just need a box where I can put my books. So my books are in the box now, and the box is next to my armchair, and it's just very handy because I have tended to put books away in my kitchen cupboard and I don't reach for them. But I think now that I've got the box next to my armchair, it's going to be so much easier just to take a pick out of the books that I've got, and the box comfortably holds around 8 books, I say. So that's more than enough to be getting on with. And book-wise, I really do enjoy reading crime books. And influenced by Alex, who is doing the Hard 75, I decided that I want to, as my little challenge to myself, I want to read a non-fiction book once a month. I'm a big reader anyway, but I do mainly read crime books in my lunch hour, and if I'm having downtime I will read. And I just thought to myself, you know what, let me see what's at the local library and pick up a non-fiction finance book. So it kind of is in keeping with my name change, really. I did my name change earlier on in the week, and a day or so later at the library, when I found this particular book, I thought, wow, this was meant to be that I found this book. So this one is called The Meaningful Money Retirement Guide by Pete Matthew. So I am on Instagram as well, and I do follow Meaningful Money. I have done for a few years, and Pete has also got a YouTube. And before I even did YouTube, I would religiously watch his Meaningful Money vlog. It's amazing, you know, anything to do with budgeting, personal finance, making plans, you know, for retirement as well. I highly recommend you do watch and follow him on social media as well. But yeah, this book was basically calling out to me when I was looking in the finance section. And yeah, it was published, I think, last year. So it's very up to date with retirement and, you know, what's the best way forward in retirement. And for me, this is going to be really handy to read and putting into effect what I learn and what I know already, and start doing and making my goals, you know, turn them into action. And yeah, I've read the first couple of chapters so far, and this will definitely keep me going for the month. So this is my little, you know, personal challenge for me, reading one finance book a month, and it's this one. So like I said, highly recommend that you follow Meaningful Money on YouTube, on social media. Pete is a really great guy, and you will learn a lot about budgeting. And if you're at that age of planning retirement, yeah, he's got some very sound advice. And yeah, that's forming part of my new routine. And also, what else is there to talk about? I did have something that I was going to mention to you. Yes, so another thing I decided to do last weekend, which was in my spending budget, but in August, I reinstated Netflix. So I made the plunge to reinstate Netflix. Really pleased I did. And the first thing that I watched was Thursday Murder Club, featuring Helen Mirren and Pierce Brosnan. And if you haven't already watched it and you're a fan of crime whodunits, I highly recommend it. It's got a stellar cast, and yeah, it's really good. I haven't read the books, even though I am really a fan of crime fiction. I thought, let me watch the film, and then once I get through all my piles of books that I've already got, then I'll make a note to borrow that book. So there are some other things that I want to watch, but I'm really pleased that I have decided to reinstate my Netflix for autumn and for winter. And rather than it come out of my monthly budget, it's going to come out of my weekly spending that I do. So the subscription is only $5.99. So when that gets taken out, I'll just take it out of my weekly budget for spending. And then I also do subscribe to charities and give a donation every month. But I've just started subscribing to another one called Women for Women International. And that's a £2 subscription. Basically what I've done is I made a charity donation last month for £10. And then it said, do I want to make a monthly subscription? So I said yes, and then once I'd said yes, I realised, well, they haven't got my bank details, because I pay everything on my credit card. So I noticed at the weekend an amount of £2 had come out. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to cancel that. I'll let it roll on month to month. And again, that can come out of my weekly spending for when it does come out. So yeah, so that's done. So next on the list to talk about is a recent cook with me, and it was a Wednesday lunch that I decided to do this for. And if you're like me and you love soups, especially homemade soups, then hopefully this next part of the vlog will be something that you'll watch and maybe make yourself. But it's a golden vegetable soup, and it was extremely tasty. It lasted me a good couple of days, and it helped to get rid of my leftovers in the fridge. So yeah, without further ado, let's see how I made the golden vegetable soup.
Hi everyone, it's Wednesday lunchtime and I am making a vegetable soup. So I have basically cut up and put into the pan, firstly half of the red onion, which was left over in the fridge from when I made some couscous. And basically I put in a big heaped tablespoon of butter first, let that melt, and then put the onion in. Then I cut up a whole leek and put that in. Then I put in 2 sticks of celery, which were from last week and would have been binned otherwise if I didn't use them. They've been chopped up and put in. And then 2 not big carrots, quite skinny ones. They've also been cut and put in. And then I'm putting in 3 small potatoes, and I'm going to add my vegetable stock now. So I've just added in my water. I've got a medium-sized pot, so I tend to fill the water about 2/3 full. And I've put in 1.5 vegetable stock cubes, and I've added the 3 small chopped potatoes as well. So I'm going to bring that to a boil and let that simmer for around 15-20 minutes. So everything's been simmering and cooking away nicely. Potatoes are nice and soft, and I have now got at the ready my hand blender, and I'm going to add some pepper and some cayenne pepper just to give the soup a little bit of a kick. So I'll be back once I've had a bit of a blitz. So I've just blitzed it and given it a stir, and I've got a lovely golden vegetable soup. Just going to add a bit of pepper and a bit of cayenne pepper. Whoops. That's okay, I like a bit of a kick. Stir that in. I might have the odd little lump here or there, but I'm more than happy. It doesn't bother me. A lot of it does seem to have blended down. So I think I will serve up in the next few minutes. So I just need to get my toast on. See you at the dinner table. So when I make homemade soup, I always like to spoil myself by using my big bowl. I really do love using this one when I have homemade soup. As you can see, it's a lovely golden vegetable soup. It's a great way of using up the leftovers. I had some carrots and celery that needed using up. I purposely bought leek. I had potato and I had half of red onion. And always have stock in the cupboard. And yeah, it just makes the perfect lunch. So I'm going in for the taste test. As you can see, it's quite nice and thick. That's absolutely delicious. I've not added any salt. Each person has their own individual preference as to whether they would want to add salt, but I find that the stock is adequate for that. And it has got a little bit of a kick from the cayenne pepper, which is really nice. So very happy with that. And I've basically got just under half a pot full left of soup. So that will definitely keep me going for the next 1 to 2 days. So I hope that that's giving you some inspiration to maybe make a lovely homemade soup yourself. And bon appetit.
Oh, it was so delicious, honestly. It's really getting me back into the mindset now of thinking that I'm going to make soups on a regular basis. There's nothing more comforting than homemade soup. And like I said, I do spoil myself. I get out my extra large bowl. And yeah, it's just a guilt-free way of having a big lunch, because you know you're getting all your vegetables. And I don't add salt, like I said in the video. I just go on the saltiness that's already in the stock. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. And then some other meals that I've been cooking, which I'll put a picture up, is I've been making couscous. So with my last couscous recipe, I decided to use red onion, courgette and red pepper, which I fried in the pan. Then I prepared the couscous and basically used 8 tablespoons, and I put in about 150 mils of hot water with a vegetable stock and prepared that for 10 minutes. And then once the sautéed vegetables had been cooked, I basically added that into the couscous, and I also added a can of white butter beans, and these are really healthy. They're one of your 5 a day. They've got a lot of fibre in them. And then I also added some raisins and some flaked almonds. And for my first meal of that day, I had it with a piece of battered cod, and it was really delicious. So the couscous was served warm, but yeah, having the raisins in was really nice. It just added a nice dimension. I like the butter beans in there as well. And then basically the next day, because I'd put the couscous in the fridge, I served it cold. And I must admit, I do prefer it the next day cold, because the flavours have had time to marinate in with each other. And I just think I prefer couscous cold once it's been prepared with everything. And I made some chicken tenders, and I put some beetroot on top of the couscous, and that was absolutely delicious as well. Oh, I really do like couscous. I'm so pleased that Sharon from Living on a Low Income introduced me into how to cook it, and I just, again, I find it a great staple to have. And when I cook it, I make sure that I have at least 2 to 3 portions, so it lasts me a good 2 to 4 days. As long as you keep it fresh in the fridge, it will keep absolutely fine. So that's all my cooking that I've been up to this week as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you haven't already subscribed, would you please consider subscribing? It would mean so much to me. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you on the next video. So thanks for watching and see you again. Bye everyone.